Now then, people, welcome back to the Just Joe Football Show, and it's time for a live match preview, something I want to do more regularly. I was going to say next season then as well, but I don't know where we're going to be. Yeah, so let's let's not make any sort of like bold claims now. As you can see, no Lewis. Lewis is Saturday nights. He's a young lad, man. He's out drinking. JT's missed his train. He'll be with us ASAP. But Max is back from Leeds lately. How are you doing, Max? How's the nerves, pal?
All right, I've been trying not to think about it, to be honest. Especially because there's been no football on at all today. It's almost been a bit of a chance to just sort of forget about football, and then just sort of do other things and try not to think about it, and then we'll just tackle it tonight and tomorrow.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. Like, it's the little one's birthday today, so we've just been mad busy. The downstairs currently in Harry Potter TPs. Staying in the front room watching the Harry Potter film. So it's been like in the back of my mind a little bit. I didn't even watch the Sunderland game. Obviously, I live in Sunderland now, so a lot of my friends who I know and used to work with are down in Wembley. So well done for them anyway. If any of them are catching this, but I've stayed away from football myself, mate, and I don't know how sleep will go tonight. I don't know if it affects you like that, Max, but when if football's on my mind, I struggle to sleep. I can't switch off. I'm constantly scrolling and stuff.
Yeah, it can do, but I just try to sort of lock my phone, put it to one side, and not look at stuff because, like you say, that can make it worse. But I think it's not many times really that it's been a bad sort of loose sleep over football, has it? I mean, we had the championship running, but that was more like we're expecting to win the league and we might not. So like it wasn't as bad. But relegation, this is my first real experience with it as an adult, properly following Leeds. Because obviously when we went down the first time, I think I was 7. So I never properly experienced that. But yeah, I don't know how it's going to be, to be honest, because I'm quite logical and calm. Like, if anyone's watched my channel, you probably see that I'm quite level-headed about football. So, like, because I know that there's nothing that I can do about it, I'm not as, like, nervous. I'm like, a bit what will be, because there's nothing I can do about it. I just really, really hope we do well. And it's out of our hands as well, this one, isn't it? It's if we win and they win, we still go down. So we've just got to win and hope that they don't. And that's as much as we can really do, isn't it, in this situation, which is not a nice one to be in.
But it's quite interesting hearing you say that, because like I bet there's a lot of people watch this wish they could be like you in that respect. Max, you know what I mean? I hear you though. I do. I understand where you're coming from in that respect, and it's it's mad how, like, sometimes as a content creator, like, as well, like, what I say or what you will say has no bearing on the result whatsoever. You know what I mean? But you can get hammered for it, like, oh, jinx or whatever. You're doing this, you're doing that, but like you say, it's out of our hands. Not just like as people, but also on game day as well. Like,
as a club, it's out of our hands.
Yeah, I don't know what would be worse for you, Max. Like, if I was speaking last night on a Prem preview show that I do, and saying I think the worst case scenario for me would be if we went out and won the game 3-0, and then still it wasn't enough because Burnley scored in the last minute and won 1-0 or something. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I think both ends of the spectrum are bad, aren't they, in this case? Because if, like you say, we run out and run out 3-0 victors or something, and then they win as well, that's obviously going to be horrendous. But then if we also go out with a whimper and lose 3-0, and Burnley, all they had to do was draw. In fact, they don't even have to draw, do they? If we lose, they don't. So I don't know what's worse, to be honest. If we just completely go out with a whimper and not even try, really, then that's horrendous. But if we win and we're all like you say, it's a hard one to call, because there's just so many situations in which we go down.
Yeah, there are. I think someone's just put in the chat there, there's 2 out of 8 possible outcomes that are good for us. So like I say, I think You know, we're firm favourites. I think it was Opta had said we were 84.7% going to get relegated. Do you know what I mean? So it's obviously massively against us, and I think no one in 11 years, Max, has started the final day in the bottom three and actually got out of it, like in 11 years now, which is quite a long time as well. Yeah, it's horrible, isn't it? When I heard that, I was like, oh God.
I always think about these things. They never last forever, and there's a thing that commentators like to use, isn't it? They like to use stats like that, and they'll say something like, Everton haven't beaten this team at their, like, say Arsenal. It's probably not right, this, but just making one up. They'll say, oh, Everton haven't won away at Arsenal in 50 years. Doesn't make a difference on the day. Like, even form doesn't really make a difference. Like, psychologically, for the players, they probably think, yeah, we're going to beat these. Whereas the other team who's playing badly might think, oh, well, actually, we've been playing awful. How the hell are we going to beat these? But at the end of the day, all of these runs come to an end. And in a game like this, form means nothing, because we're going to be absolutely fighting for our lives, or I hope our players are. Do you look at that squad and believe it's up for the fight? Some players, if you look at the Championship players, I think, plus Rafinha, then I do believe it's up for a fight. Like, but then we've lost the people who you would have thought, oh, they'll definitely be up for it. Dallas and Ayling being key ones. Even Dan James, he worked his pan out and would just put his body on the line for the team. But players like Rodrigo, do they work as hard for it? I know that Click will, if he plays, Click will put his heart and soul into it, won't he? And Cooper and Phillips. And so we have got those players, that core Championship team. They already know what it's like to dig in and get results. Granted, at the other end of a table, but they know what it's like to dig in, get those results, and push on, basically. Whereas some players like Llorente and Koch, they're kind of, from my knowledge, I think they were pretty much mid-table most of the time, weren't they? And they never really had to fight for a title or a relegation. So I don't know how much that's going to play into it. Past experience, or it's hard to tell, isn't it?
For sure. I've just seen a comment there from Sporting Central. He said, being underdogs fills me with a little hope. There is a bit of that about this fixture, to be fair, because I think, amongst the majority of the fan base, they've written it off, as a loss. Some say we won't even win the game. So I said in my preview, and I stand by it, that I don't see us losing the game. I genuinely don't see us losing the game.
Well, we can't, can we? That's the one thing that we just can't.
No, we can't. No, we can't. But I even think, just looking at it and thinking about it, and I've been mulling over it, I said the least we get is a point, and that might be enough. That
it might be
enough, which would be amazing.
Well, have you seen what Howe's been saying? He did his pre-match press conference, said he was going to be right up for it. They want to end the season strong. They want to beat Burnley, regardless of the situation that Burnley are in. They want to win. They're going to play the strongest team, and they're going to try and beat them, which good for us. And I think it was it JT, or was it you, or was it Lewis that was saying that Callum Wilson looked bang in form against Arsenal?
Yeah, he did look really good against Arsenal. Yeah,
and you've got to think he's got as a team, Newcastle have got the capabilities to unlock that Burnley defence. And Burnley would be trying to probably do what they did against Villa and Spurs and go three. I think they did go 3 at the back against Villa.
They did, yeah.
I mean, I watched that game, but I was just sort of like so nervous. I didn't really pay attention to any of the stuff that I usually think about. Like, I didn't even, but
I think the like you said, they've got, depending on the lineup that he picks, but he did say he's going to go as strong as possible. So that makes me think, right, well, he goes Joel Linton, he goes Bruno Guimaraes, he goes Alan St. Maximin. You know what I mean? Almiron, who may lack in terms of quality in the final third, but he'll run all day.
I don't think that Burnley defence has got a lot of pace, have they, either?
No.
And Saint-Maximin running against anyone is a bit of a nightmare for defenders, isn't it? So against them, where they've already got, I think Tarkowski's back now, isn't he? But I think Ben Mee's still out, isn't he? And so they don't have 100% their fully fit defence. So Newcastle definitely have the tools to beat them. But we did say that about Villa. And I think Villa could have put them to bed, couldn't they? There was a fair few chances where they could have won that game.
This is the thing, isn't it? Nick Pope kept them.
I was watching the game with your live watch along on, and because there's a slight delay, I would go, Nick Pope! What's he doing? And I go, I'm waiting for Joe's reaction now. He's going to see this in a minute and he's going to go mad. And you just go, Nick Pope! Exact same thing as what I did.
I tell you what though, like
unbelievable.
The fine margins in football is like you could argue Nick Pope's either saved them from relegation or Tyrone Mings has saved Leeds United's season with that block that he made.
That was.
It was amazing, wasn't it? Like even Vegas was wheeling away as if to celebrate.
Always liked Mings.
Yeah, exactly. Brilliant.
That block is absolutely unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Holy Ghost with the super chat says the Enoki gods have spoken. 1-1. Is it enough? Well, a point may be enough. Holy Ghost. It all just depends on of course. There's even a little bit of a War of the Roses vibe to it. You know what I mean? They're Lancashire. It all depends on what that team in Lancashire does. I think there's quite a lot of the footballing world, although we might not believe it, but having sampled a few different podcasts, quite a lot of them actually want Leeds United to stay up. And I think a lot of it is due to Burnley, Dyche Ball, them being around so long that people are just like, do you know what? We're sick of them now. Like, and I mean that with all due respect to any Burnley fans that are watching, but you know,
I think the Burnley fans know that that's what they do, and they know that they house people. I think they started saying that on the square ball, didn't they, to avoid saying the first part of that word. But they house people, and that's just what they do. And they know that they do that, and they've got players that do that, Ashley Barnes. And it's almost like what we were saying about the way that Bielsa played with our team, is that some of them aren't fantastic under another manager, and they're not anywhere near as good as they look under Bielsa, under Jesse Marsh. But some of these Burnley players, like Ashley Barnes, they literally just lived to be a Dyche player and kick people and elbow people and wind people up. And that was one of the reasons why the Burnley fans loved it, because it would wind up all the other fans. But also that's why, like you say, all the other fans are thinking, isn't it about time we got rid of them? And also, everybody loves to have somebody to hate as well. And everybody, as much as they say they hate Leeds, they enjoy having us in the division because they like playing against us. And the fans like coming to Ellen Road, and people like it when, like, you see all the videos every time people video the away end when Leeds are in there, and they always go around Twitter and people saying fair play to the Leeds fans. They're unbelievable. So people like that. People like the atmosphere. People like the fact that it's Leeds. The fact that Leeds are hateable, if you will. So they like having us here. And I think we are definitely a good addition to the Premier League, even if not on the football pitch, just the actual old school style of Ellen Road and the fans. And
you are right. Do you think there's a case of this squad being a little bit inexperienced in this sort of fight, Max? Because that's the one thing that concerns me. I think, for me, if Burnley were to go 1-0 down, or even if they were to go 1-0 up, how that filters through to Leeds United. Let's say Burnley score in the first 10 minutes, what that does to Jesse Marsh, what that does to the rest of the squad as he tries to get that onto the pitch in some capacity. Whereas if I look at Burnley, and if, you know, they found out that we were up or they'd gone behind, I just feel they have a little bit more
calm in that
mental
situation. Yeah,
capacity to say it's all right. We'll be all right. Don't worry. You know,
they've been doing it since they've been in the Premier League because they've always had a small budget. They've always been near the bottom of the league, and if not, they haven't been right down at the bottom fighting for their lives every year. But they've experienced that year on year. And Jesse Marsch has said quite a lot of times in his interviews, he said, look, I've never really done a relegation battle before. I'm used to fighting for titles like he did with Salzburg and the Red Bulls.
When he said that, though, bro, I in my head I went, oh, calm down, mate. You're not chill out, mate.
Yeah, well, there is that, but you know what I mean?
Of course, yeah.
He's saying that he's only ever fought for titles, and then I don't know if it's excuse making or is it just a thing to say, look, I'm not experienced at this. And our players coming from the Championship, they used to floating around in mediocrity, the ones that are the oldest, and the ones that are a little bit after that, like your Strauchs and people like that, they've only ever really known fighting for a title. So they haven't got experience in a relegation situation. So it will be interesting to see how they react to that. But having said that, Burnley don't have... I mean, they've got Cornet, who's very good, but they don't really have somebody like... They don't have a Rafinha and a Harrison on both wings.
No, they don't.
I think if we find out that they've gone ahead and we... Just in a situation where we find out we really need a goal, and they're drawing and we're drawing and we need a goal. You'd like to argue that we've got more quality in attack, especially if Bamford can play.
More match winners, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to think that even though we're not as experienced, you get players like Rafinha on the ball and he's always got that moment of magic in him. He can do something if he needs to. But I don't know if I'm just talking myself into that.
No, I think there is definitely something in that, Max. And look, they got credit for what went down at Spurs. I understand it. I didn't watch the game because I was in the fan zone, but they got a lot of credit for it. Against Villa, I mean, we both watched the game. They didn't really carve any clear-cut chances out. You take out what was, and it was a proper striker attacking midfielder kind of challenge from Buendia, man. He just absolutely went flying in. If that's a defender, he doesn't do that, and they don't get a penalty.
But also, Barnes, like I said about him throwing elbows around, he should have been sent off before that point because he threw an elbow in someone's face. And just because he's not looking at the player, he knows what he's doing because he's done it so many times before. Just because he's not looking at the player doesn't mean it's not intentional.
Yeah.
He knows that he knows that there's a player behind him, and he swung an elbow back to try and get a little headshot in because that's just what he's like.
Yeah, no, you're right in that respect, but I do, like I said, they didn't carve Villa open. You take the penalty out of this situation, and it's a different day. Nick Pope doesn't have a barnstormer. It's a different thing. I'm just glad that it has gone to the last day. All them weeks ago, I didn't think it would. We made a change of manager. We had an improvement. It then went pear-shaped. It is what it is, and at least now we're still in with a chance. You know what I mean? There won't be nothing worse.
I saw a graphic the other day that showed Jesse Marsch's contribution, and it was like goals scored like out of the league since he's been in. His goals scored 9th, goals conceded 12th. And what was the other ones? There was like XG and XG against, and all of his stats were very mid-table, but it's just the moment he's come in, and then we've had to face Arsenal, City and Chelsea all in a row. It's such a difficult... we were like 7-8 points ahead, weren't we, at one point? And we haven't done anything majorly wrong since then in terms of results. Like, we were expected to lose against Chelsea, Arsenal and City. We've been bad to watch and not great at playing, but kind of been getting the results you'd expect to get in that situation. It's just that Burnley somehow managed to put 3 wins together on the bounce, which is just ridiculous.
It is, and their manager sacking worked, right? The removal of Deitch, and I just didn't envisage it ever would. If I'm being totally honest, as soon as that was announced, I thought, you know what? They're down. They're down.
Didn't they? Yeah. Everyone was saying, this worst decision ever. They're down now, but I mean, get Ben Mee involved and he'll stay off.
Yeah, exactly. Just before we go into like a little bit more on Leeds United and what we expect them to line up for, I'm just looking at the video. We've got over 400 people on the video. Thank you so much for everyone that has jumped in and joined us live. We've only got 100 likes, so if you haven't already, please do smash a like on the video. And I'm just going to quickly check. I think I will have, but let me just double check and make sure Max's channel is in the description on this video. It certainly is as well. So if you could just, while you're here, pop down to the description and give Max at Leeds Lately a quick subscribe to his channel as well. In terms of what we've seen against Brighton, mate, we've seen a change up. We've seen some width. We've seen Rafinha on the wings. We've seen Harrison on the wings. Do we need to do that? Do we need to revert back to that type, that 4-2-3-1, whatever you like? I listened to the Phil Hay podcast today. He even said he felt he's seen shades of the 4-1-4-1 in the second half because he's seen Calvin operating on his own in front of the back four. So is there a case of Leeds United going back to what they know again and playing with width, but this time from minute one? Do we want them to do that? I know I do, Max. I don't want to be playing with non-arrow because I said it in my preview. They have Ayer at right back and Buemo at right mid. The left side, they've got Rico, Henry and Visser. And if we play narrow, I think they will murder us down each flank. So I think we need to play with some width.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the way that we played against Brighton was so much better because we played with width and we played to our strengths. Our strengths were, we played under Bielsa for 3.5, 4 years with wingers, and this whole system was reliant on wingers for his attacking situations. And the fact that we went so narrow just meant that our best players weren't involved. Our best attacking players weren't involved. So when we went wide against Brighton, we had an out ball. That's the major thing. When every time we got it in midfield, we had an out ball. We had someone to pass it to. Calvin has looked a bit lost since he came back from injury, and a lot of people have been saying, "Oh, where's the old Calvin?" And the people have been saying, "Is that because he's not operating on his own in there? Why is it?" And I think it's just because he didn't have the out ball. Like his defending and his short passing has been the same, but he's just not been spraying those balls. And against Brighton, we had the wide men for him to get the ball in midfield and spray out to the wide men, which allows us all to push up the pitch. So I think that's massively important. And like you said, they've got very good wide players. Both the fullbacks and their wide midfielders are very decent.
Yeah.
Koch, I thought, if he's not injured, I don't know if Jesse Marsh said in his press conference whether he's fit. I think he is.
He said Koch's good to go. I
think he played really, really well at right back. I think he potentially could have been one of our man of the matches in that Brighton game. I think he did really well not to get caught in behind. Trossard cut in once and curled one over the bar from my memory, but I don't think there were other than he might have even not been on the pitch, Koch, by then, but he did really, really well in there. And attacking wise, he gets forward as well. And I think having somebody strong like that can actually be good against a quick wide man because he's stronger, isn't he? He's bigger, he's more physical, he's a centre half, and he has got a bit of pace. So I think, like you say, if we do go wide, then we do need to make sure that we're not being caught on the counter-attack by their wide men.
Yeah, no, for sure. I've just seen mention someone there in the comments about the lilac kit, and I've seen a load of tweets going around on social media. We're going to be in the lilac kit tomorrow, and we're undefeated in the lilac kit this season. Do you believe in any of that stuff, mate?
No.
No.
I think the reason that that goes completely against what I was going to say. I was going to say the reason that usually it's a bad stat, isn't it, about a third kit or an away kit, and it's because you're playing away. But it's actually a good stat. But if we only played Newcastle and Burnley in that kit, who else have we played?
I don't know. I think Square Ball might have put some out early, but someone's just done something similar.
It's clutching at straws, isn't it? It is, as much as it pains me, but it's like it's not going to make a difference what kit we're wearing.
It's it's not. I mean, in terms of personnel, mate, who do you see as being the difference makers for Leeds United?
you've got to look at Bamford if he's fit.
Yeah.
When he played against Norwich and the little bit of time that he played against Wolves, and obviously when he came on against Brentford last time, he can be such a difference maker. But not only that, he gets us up the pitch. And like I was saying with the outball thing, Bamford was a real good sticking point. He backs into defenders. He's nice and strong, tall. He backs into defenders. Then when he gets it into his feet, Rafinha and Harrison, they have a connection with Bamford where they know exactly what he's going to do. He's either going to lay it off for somebody else to pass it over the top into the channels, or he's going to do it himself. And Rafinha and Harrison will be bombing on because they know what Bamford does. When he plays Gelhardt's great in the air for his size, and he's leap and he wins headers, but you don't always know where that's going to go, do you?
No.
With Bamford, he gets us up the pitch, and that's one of the most important things. So I really, really hope that we play Bamford. Other than that, like we've already said, Rafinha, he's got to just score a last goal for us and then go to Barcelona, and we'll be happy.
Him signing off with an, because I think he's had, it might be like 12 games now, but I think he's only had 1 goal and 1 assist in the like 10, 11, 12 games or something. So not great return.
But aren't they all? How many games has Marsh had? I think it's about 10 or 11, isn't it?
They will be. I mean, you can't expect him to get a return playing at right back, can you, bro?
Exactly. He's playing at right back or really narrow.
Yeah, exactly that. I don't go along, and I keep saying it because I've seen it a few times. I don't go along with the narrative that he don't want to be here and that he's checked out. Just my opinion, couldn't be further from the truth for me. I think he is really trying. He is really trying.
I haven't even seen anything about that, to be honest.
I've seen it and heard it, and listen.
I don't think you'd be getting that angry.
To their opinion, but I feel that's just where my head's at. I'd argue that if he weren't here this season, we'd already be down.
He's scored 10 goals, hasn't he?
Yeah.
And Ayling, he what's he called? Oh my God, there he is.
Oh my God, how's it going? Sorry, I think I cut you off there. I don't know. You didn't. My text didn't go through. The reason it is like this. I texted you. Basically, all the trains were delayed. Like they completely mess everything. I texted you at 6:13. Didn't go through for some reason. I sent a screenshot, but I'm sorry, I'm late. What were you guys just talking about?
I was just saying. Joe was saying that he doesn't agree with the fact that Rafinha. People are saying that Rafinha is checked out and doesn't want to be here anymore. And I was just saying, when Ayling got sent off, he would not have been that angry if he didn't care. When he was going absolutely mental and nearly got himself sent off, I just don't think he would be that angry if he didn't care.
He's one of the people that really does care. He's one of the people like when you saw that thing with the ball boy, with the Leeds fan hiding the shirt under his jumper, and he came over and he was screaming at him. Is this Joe saying under his jumper? He doesn't care?
No. I'm not saying that, bro.
No, he's saying he doesn't
care. Definitely not. No. Definitely not. We need him. I tomorrow, I would love nothing more than for him to sign off from Leeds United, having kept us in the Premier League. With an absolute barnstormer. That would be amazing. I don't know what you guys think. Right, there's a few people within the squad that I'm not very keen on currently. And
names. Come on, drop them in there.
Rodrigo being one. I hate to say it, but Luke Ayling, Dan James for getting themselves sent off. It really is. It has really got to me that. But they're not going to be playing. But if I think about players,
has Luke Ayling not got credit in the bank?
Yes, he has. No, of course he has. He has. But I'm still.
has.
I'm still pissed.
Luke Ayling's got credit in the bank, but that makes it worse because he's been such a hero with the fans, and his challenge was so like Dan James. I genuinely think that was an attempt to win the ball, not out of anger or anything. I think he's just done a striker's tackle and completely mistimed it. Luke Ayling's been a defender all his life. As a centre-back as a youth player and then out to right-back. He has been a defender all his life and he knows what not to do in terms of 2 feet up. Yeah. That was ridiculous. Like that
it was
like
a beautiful challenge.
Trying to hurt him.
It was a good challenge, It was it's what you want to see. But...
that's pure Marsh talk. That is pure Marsh talk.
It's like that's what Marsh was saying. He wanted to be aggressive, but not too aggressive.
Yeah, exactly. Somewhere in
Mate,
between.
what has
Somewhere in
Marsh
between a feather tickle and murder. That's where Jetty is. Somewhere in between there. You know what I mean? I'll take a
Mate, by the looks
GBH. I'll
of it,
take a
it sounds like that's what his
GBH.
team
Not
talks
quite
are.
murder. Sorry, Jetty.
I was saying by the looks of our performances, that's probably what his team talks aren't far off from, because they look clueless. They don't know whether to attack or defend.
Yeah, I mean, how do we see us shaping up tomorrow? Then do we expect us to go all out, or do we expect a very conservative keep us in the game till the 60 or 70 minute and then try go for it? How do we believe he'll go?
Attack instantly from the start.
Do you think?
Similar to Brighton, we didn't get the early goal against Brighton, but we did go for it from jugular.
We really could have done.
We could have done. Yeah.
Like we created the chances, which is promising.
Yeah.
I think we'll go for them. I think we will. And I don't know if you guys have spoken about Bamford yet, have you?
A little bit.
But go on.
Well, if Bamford does start, then he will get us on the front foot. I'm telling you, the guy is different gravy, European pedigree. Once we start the game, we're going to be pinging the balls through to him. He's going to be showing different class in there. You think those Brentford defenders, you think Janssen can deal with a guy like Patrick Bamford? Not a chance in hell. Not a snowball's chance in hell, in fact. And we will go for it. We'll go for it quick. And I think
this is a Brentford side, by the way, who's kept 4 clean sheets at home in the last 4 against Spurs, against Villa.
Yeah. Spurs, who have they got up front? Harry Kane.
A second-rate Patrick Bamford.
Exactly.
Yeah, JT's. Listen, I love Bamford, but JT's got him on some next level. I believe me.
I agree with you, JT, in terms of
about
the fact that we should go. No, in terms of the fact that we should go for an attack straight away. But like you said, Joe, I can see Marsh picking the wrong option and trying to hold out until the 60th minute, and then you only leave yourself half an hour to score. And
my man, right? I genuinely believe if Newcastle go in front, we run the risk, right, of him playing for a draw, right, and it being 0-0. And I know a lot of people will agree with it, right? But while the game is in the balance at 0-0, like for me, that's I don't want to get to a situation where we're 0-0 and they've got a set piece and on the battering us for the last 5. I'd rather go out and win the game and give yourself.
That would just crank the pressure up. And like Lewis was alluding to,
it makes it worse and worse as it gets later and later.
Newcastle are 2-0 up at half time, and Jesse's like, right, 5 at the back, just defend, and then and we just have no attacking outlet, and then 5 minutes go, they score, and then we're done because he's made all the changes and there's no attacking outlet. And we've
seen that Everton
just go for it.
We've seen that Everton 2-0 down, came back to win 3-2, so it's not an impossibility. He could just think, like you say, oh, let's hold back, and then Burnley could go out and score 2 or score 3. Yeah, it's
so true.
That's why we need to go for the jugular.
But that's what we were saying.
The longer we're sat there, but the longer it stays without us being in the lead, or especially if we're trailing, and then you've got all the fans in the stadium checking their phones, seeing the Burnley score, seeing what's going on there, and the tension just builds and builds and builds and builds. And sure, Junior Firpo will deflate that all eventually with an absolute rocket. And sure, that will be great when it happens, but...
I hope you're right, but I can't see it.
Oh man, I'm trying to speak something into existence here because I am bricking it. I'm not going to lie to you.
I think we all are, aren't we? I think that goes without saying. I think, I don't know. I've not even processed what I'll feel like at full time if we do go down. I genuinely haven't even thought that far ahead. I don't like to. I don't like to. It's not, and those that have already processed it, fair play to them, and they'll be okay with it. But I don't.
No, but nobody truly has, because that's what makes it painful. Like they say, the hope is the hope that kills you, and it's like half of your mind is like basically trying to tell yourself, "Oh, we're in the championship already." Like trying to mentally prepare for that when it happens. But then there's also like that other side, like, what if there's that chance, and it's just like yanking your heart around.
Yeah,
I did feel a bit happier, delusionally happier when I saw that Burnley and Leeds making the claim against Everton. I know they're never going to get points deduction, but
if they did it,
at least it's some sort of.
Yeah, it's clutching, man. That's clutching at straws, bro.
It's always the next season, and it with points.
Why have they waited till now?
Because Rad was, mate, it was the day after we got spanked 3-0 by Chelsea. Why do you think? He went, oh shit. He went, right, straight up phone to Burnley, man, to Burnley on it. Listen, let's do this. Like, why not do it when it happened? Because he thought he was home and dry. For me, it stinks of like pettiness, like, oh, I'm going to go tell on you. Yeah, they have broken the rules. I hear that. But like you just said, JT, why are you waiting till like, we've known for ages that Everton have been doing this. We've known for ages. So why are you doing it now? It's stupid, man. The board. Listen, it is what it is.
I think it's mad how they can have been doing that and still be in the situation that they've been in this season. That's how badly they've invested and how badly they've spent.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
well, he disagrees with both of those things, actually. So
who?
Radrizzani.
No, I mean the Everton.
Have you not been seeing his? Have you not been seeing his? No, I know, but have you not been seeing his Twitter? It's been popping off recently.
What's he saying?
I saw him.
I don't know.
I saw him
just
say
like
something
fans
before
coming.
with a wink face. What was it?
Yeah, he's just been like just coming back at the fans. Yeah. Like, oh, we're not going to be able to sell the club if we go down. The 49ers aren't going to want us. And they basically like, why the hell did you not invest in it? Tomorrow's a must win because we're going to be screwed if we go down. And he's like, well, both of those things are wrong, and you should know me by now, wink face.
Yeah,
that's what he put.
Yeah, someone said, we go down tomorrow. I can see you selling up to the 49ers and ditching us to the championship. Hope I'm wrong, but I can feel it. Tomorrow is another massive turning point in our history again. And Radrizzani said, unfortunately, you are wrong on both. After 5 years, you should know me better. Yeah. Winky face.
We did say, didn't we, in the, I can't remember if it was the last midweek fix, but when we said that they are not going to sell in the championship because of how much money Radrizzani would lose. Like, he would just not sell the club. He's going to go and try and, if we do go down, they're going to try and get us back up as soon as they possibly can, and then he's going to cut his losses and sell the club. I cannot see him trying to sell the club in the championship. Like, all that stuff that he'd worked for was to make the club worth so much more, and then sell it, and then sell for a massive profit. And so if he just sells in the championship, then what's the point of all that?
There isn't. It's like when Mike Ashley did it, he waited and took him back up. But
yeah, it's true. We'll have to wait and see. Who knows what might come out in the wash, right? Who knows what might come out in the wash? But whatever happens, like, there needs to be an inquest, into this season, and I'm sure we'll do something content-wise, discussing the pros and the cons and what went wrong and all that sort of jazz. But yeah, tomorrow then, who's obviously, I was making the point as well, and we went down a bit of a different tangent, but, I look at players within that squad, and I was mentioning, some that I'm not right keen on right now, like the likes of Rodrigo, Junior Firpo. The jury's still out for 99% of the fan base, bar 1%, which is JT. But the rest, I think, is the jury's out on Firpo. But tomorrow, there is an opportunity for a Rodrigo to wipe any sort of ill feeling I have towards him and become a hero. You know what I mean? Tomorrow is the time for heroes. And if Rodrigo scores that winning goal, anything that's come in the last 2 seasons, I don't care. Give him a new deal for me. Because I'd be like, listen, the guy saved us in the Premier League. It is that type of game.
I know, but that's why I think it's going to be Firpo. I think it's just, I don't think there's been anyone that's had more criticism than him this entire year. And how crazy would it be if he's the one that ends up keeping us up?
Well, he
gets in situations to have a shot quite often, and they're always quite good positions as well inside the box. It's just that he always leans back and whacks it over the bar. So if he could just keep his head down on one of them and blast it top corner, can you imagine? Like, I don't care who it is.
Mate, it's happening.
Like you say, Joe, it doesn't matter what they've done. this season, if they score a goal that wins us that game and we stay up, then all is forgiven. Players wise, not the squad.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. You've got to forgive them if we stay up, I think.
Yes,
Do you forgive the board if we stay up? Do you give them another chance? They haven't done. They gave us a lack of investment and they dealt with Bielsa bad. It's not like it's not like they're the worst owners in the world. Let's be real. It's not like they're the
but like
Glazers
we
or something
said,
like that.
They've got to learn from it basically. And because if we do stay up, the summer is right after the end of the season. So a day after we stay up, he signs an absolute worldie midfielder. Then I'm pretty sure we'll all be like, right. Okay, we'll give you another go.
Yeah, I feel like some of this chat feels about JT like I feel about Thurpo.
Wait. What are they saying? What do you mean?
No,
What do you mean?
It's that same dude who's got an agenda against you with multiple accounts who's just going, get him off. My man's got about 10 burner accounts and just quickly puts, get JT off on all. I reckon he's got like.
He was probably the one delaying all the trains,
screens.
so I couldn't make it.
True that, man. JT, we love you, says Yorkshire.
I'm sorry, boys. What can I say?
It's all love,
I'm bribing Joe to keep me on.
No, man. Yeah, so who are you worried about from a Brentford perspective? I think for me, as long as we can stop Christian Eriksen, man, he seems to be the man that's really changed their season around. Janssen, yeah.
Just because it would be typical Leeds luck, wouldn't it, for him to score? I don't know.
Yeah.
Like those kind of stories
if he
always
comes in at a corner.
Man, yeah, and we're crap at corners.
If he wins a header at a corner, I guarantee he purposely spoons it over the bar and doesn't go for goal. But I think, like you're saying about Eriksen, he's obviously the most dangerous player, and it's a football cliche, like a non-league cliche, and everything. But it's just stop the supply. Like if we can get Calvin almost man mark, well, because we now play two in that holding role, I think it might allow one of the two to just be on Christian Eriksen whilst the other one marks the space, being all zonal pretty much, but apart from one player sticking tight to him. Because sometimes you have to do that when it's a player that's that good. Because he's the one who gets the balls into the box for them, and then obviously their attackers are decent at winning headers. And so that's where the danger comes from. So I think, like you say, their danger man is Eriksen. And if we can stop him, I think we stop the ball getting into the boxes anywhere near as often.
Yeah, no, you're right, mate. I'm just looking at this here. It's just coming from D. He says the anti-JT spam always happens when Lewis is not around. It makes you think.
Yeah, because you got Lewis going at me anyway, so he's doing it for them.
Exactly, man.
Exactly. So look, hey, no problem. If you want to come and give me stick, just don't give stick to other people for putting me on. That's all I say. Don't give stick to Joe or Lewis.
No stick anyway.
If you want to give a stick to me, I like it. Come give me all the stick.
He loves it, man. Listen, you don't know.
I need something to shove up my arse.
JT's ripped up, man. He's into that UFC, man. He'll twist you up, man. He'll twist you up like a deck chair.
No.
Start putting you in arm bars and stuff, man. Believe that. But, so tomorrow then, are Leeds United staying up?
Yeah, we have to say, don't we?
Do we have to, though? Do you believe we will?
I can tell that it's crunch time because JT usually will be like, yeah, we're going to win 7-0. And he hesitated. And that's the first time I've seen him hesitate.
No. I didn't hesitate. My dad called me, so he cut me off. Yeah. No, we will stay up. Yeah, I don't know. But I can't say we won't, can I? Like, it might be.
Haven't we?
I don't. We have to. We have to say we will. What chance do we have? I don't know.
We're capable of it. I almost can't say that we're going to stay up because it just seems the odds seem so stacked against us. But like it's not beyond the realms of possibility. We've got the personnel like we discussed with Rafinha, Bamford, Harrison. We've got those players who can score us goals. I think we'll win, but whether Burnley win or not,
just need Newcastle to do the job.
Yeah.
I would be so much more confident if it was at St James's Park.
Yeah.
But it's Burnley and they need a win and they're at home. And look, their home record's actually not that great. And it's a bit of a fallacy, you know, people say, oh, Burnley, tough place to go. But I just think it's something that's tuned into us when it actually isn't that bad. But I just think...
I think it was more back like a couple years ago. Now it's kind of dwindled away.
But I just think they're at home. I don't know. Like you say, it's going to be all eyes on Burnley, isn't it? It's going to be all eyes on Burnley.
Well, it's like you say with the odds stacked against us. We're in flipping. Not only are we against Brentford, who are our bogey team, playing at their ground, which we're always crap at, and it's in London.
Yeah.
So does that not kind of favour us a little bit? Just the fact that there's so much stacked against us that maybe
that's what I'm saying.
It's got to be a time to break the curse, eh?
Yeah. And look, there's a lot riding on this final day, not just for us, but across the league. You know, West Ham and Man United are, you know, challenging for the last Europa League spot. The top four's still out there, the league title, and of course the relegation zone. So I believe that something is written that one of these different permutations will go a little bit mad, and I'm just hoping that it's us. I'm just hoping that, you know, Joffy in the last minute gets a goal or something. You know, we've seen under Marsh, and I will say this for him, that we've scored late goals. We've scored late goals under him. It's something that this club, to be fair, under Bielsa, when he came in, we always scored late goals, right? We scored 2 against Blackburn that time. You know, it was just something that we've continued to do, and it's continued under Marsh. And I just hope that, you know, we will go to the end. And look, I'd love nothing more. Imagine the game's deadlocked. It's Newcastle 1, it's Burnley 1, it's Leeds 1, it's Brentford 1, and you know, the last minute, oh man, and up steps someone like a Joffy or even a Rodrigo, just anybody, Cooper. You know what I mean? Imagine
they're winning.
Yeah, man. Wow.
They're winning. We're drawing. It's going into the 90th minute. Bang! Joe Linton equalises for Newcastle. Like 10 seconds later, Firpo rockets one in. Oh my god!
Yeah, it's got the chance to be like a really historical moment, hasn't it?
He's got Chris Wood written all over it, that game.
You reckon?
Oh,
if he plays and bags a header and a volley or something, then
it'd be amazing. It'd be amazing. Imagine Wood,
Chris Wood,
like he did against Brighton that time, man. That late goal,
or against Newcastle.
Yeah, Newcastle. Yeah, exactly. Wood, and we're like, fucking yes.
And then Janssen goes and scores an own goal the next minute.
Yeah. And I think this is what I'm alluding to as well, D. That's what I meant, you know. This could be our Man City versus QPR moment. You know, like, where it could well be, you know, and it's a chance to, Sporting Central says
that
could
works
the
with is
Pablo
Rodrigo.
Goal. Exactly, yeah. And Sporting Central says, could the Pablo goal be topped? Do you know what I mean? It could.
Well, it would be. It would be, because the Pablo goal was amazing in what it symbolised in getting us up, but we weren't actually promoted off the back of that goal. We still had to win another game. It was the decisive point that we all look at, but it wasn't like the last goal, the last kick of the season kind of thing.
The one thing I do think is that neither game tomorrow will be 0-0. There's no way in hell that they'll be 0-0.
Yeah.
How are they, like, Leeds are going to be absolutely dying to score a goal, and like, I suppose the Burnley and Newcastle one, like, Burnley could be holding out for a draw if they think that that's enough.
Yeah.
But then,
I don't know, it could be just a beautiful one where Newcastle just go and smack them like 5-0. Just go and turn on the style. Last game of the season.
Can you imagine though, like, because I was talking to Oscar yesterday and said about worst case for me is if we win and they win and then it's for nothing. But like, imagine Newcastle do batter Burnley and we still don't get even a point. Like, that'd be horrible.
That'd be the
wouldn't it?
worst, wouldn't it?
Yeah, knowing that we could have stayed up had we have just got a point. You know what I mean?
That's why it's so hard to not have it in our hands.
Yeah.
If only we got one extra point of.
We can.
And listen,
across the season.
Brentford fans would love nothing more than to send us down. 100%.
Brentford as a whole would love nothing more than to send us down.
Yeah.
Like, it's typical our last two games are Brighton and Brentford, isn't it? Two teams that absolutely can't stand us. And then we've got flipping Chelsea, City and Arsenal before. What a great run in. Oh, man.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. Let's get some score predictions.
Scores and doors.
Yeah, I want to know both.
I'll let you guys go first. I'll let you go. Go on. Okay. You always go last. I want to hear.
I'll go. I don't mind going, mate. I said the least we'll get is a draw. I don't think we'll lose. I genuinely don't think we'll lose, regardless of what goes on at Burnley. I just see us getting something. But I have to go for 2-1 because we have to win the game. So I'm going to be. I'm going to say 2-1. As for the Newcastle Burnley one, I just don't know. I couldn't even give you. I just don't know. Like my worry is if my worry is if Super Chat's just come in and it's really threw me. My worry is if Burnley get an early goal and they'll just sit on it and Newcastle might struggle to break them down. So let's go 2-1 Leeds United, and I don't know what happens elsewhere. I just hope that's enough to keep us up. Max?
I think that our game is going to be 3-2 to us. Because I think the way that we played against Brighton, we gave them the chances to score goals, and I think Brentford punish us if we give those chances away. So I think we score 3, but they also score 2 in reply. But I think we'll score first, and then I think the other game could be something like a 2-2.
Early goal, first goal, or?
Yeah, I feel like we'll score early on and go mental, and then they'll equalise, and we'll have to try and come up with a plan to score again. But I think,
man, this just sounds like pain.
I think Burnley and Newcastle are going to draw, to be honest.
Draw?
Yeah, and I think we just have to win.
Yeah.
Go on then, JT. Give us it.
Well, I think it's going to be a cagey game. You know, I don't think there's going to be a lot of chances. But in the end, I think we'll just narrowly edge our way to a 5-0 win.
I knew you were going to say that. That's why I was smiling before you even finished, because I knew you were going to say something like that.
Yeah, you were throwing me off with that. No, I think we'll go... I'll go 3-0. No, 2-0. And then Newcastle will win 2-1.
Do you think we don't concede against Brentford? Given the way that we
concede.
Given the way that we gave chances away against Brighton, and they've got better attackers.
We don't concede them.
Well, I hope you're right. I hope our defence is tighter and we don't give away as many chances.
Our defence is tighter than a nun's leg. Don't you worry about that, my son. We are going to be keeping a clean sheet.
I hope you're right, mate. I hope you're right. Emmett's just said, look what happens at 6 p.m. tomorrow. Which players do we definitely lose? And I just went, so that's what we then have to start thinking about, innit? But hopefully it don't come to pass. We had a super chat come in from Paul, 2020 and 11. He says, you guys slag off Jimenez, but if it weren't for his clumsy tackle, you would already be down. It's nice to see a Wolves fan admit that it was a poor tackle. And
who slagged him off?
I know. I think Wolves fans being better.
Probably about 2 months ago.
Yeah, it was quite a while ago, so it's still there, still processing it. But Paul, it's nice to see a Wolves fan admit.
Flipping hell, he's waited a long time for that one.
Yeah. It's nice to see a Wolves fan admit that it was a foul. And, I think the funniest thing I found out of that Wolves scenario was the fact that they felt that the league had an agenda, and by gifting us that win, by sending off Jimenez, it meant you won't get Europe, when in actual fact, you have fallen off the end of a cliff. Yeah? Bruno Lage probably might lose his job, and are you even in the top 10 now? I don't even know anymore, so it had nothing to do with us. So yeah, put
Bruno
that in
was
your
giving it the large, but
the Wolverhampton and pipe and smoke it. You're eighth. It is
well,
what
speaking
it is.
of the referees, by the way, have you guys seen this whole thing about apparently referees want to send Burnley down? I can't remember who came out there, and I was reading some articles about people trying to say there's a big conspiracy theory that referees hate Burnley's style of play and want to try and get them relegated.
Well, they do time waste constantly, and they make referees. I know it's obviously not true, but a reason why someone might think that they constantly time waste. They put referees in difficult situations because they do accidentally on purpose elbows and kicks and stuff after the ball, and they time waste. And it, like, I can imagine that would be so annoying to deal with as a referee, because you've got to think about whether you're going to book a player for time wasting, and they do it from the 20th minute. You're like, well, do I book them now? Because
whereas Leeds are a very clean team.
Like,
yeah,
exactly. They're clean as a whistle, mate.
We are. And Paul, we did call him a cheat at the time, or at least I called him a cheat at the time. But Jimenez is a cheat, man. He throws himself around like no tomorrow. Tries to get
I don't know, man.
free kicks.
After that head injury, I can never criticize the man. So big ups to Raul.
Give over, man. He uses it to his benefit, does Raul Jimenez, man. Trust me. I get it. It was not nice, but still doesn't mean you can then dine out on that and get free kicks and throw yourself down. But anyway, this isn't a Wolves podcast. See, Chris knows, and he's a Wolves fan. Anyway, right. I think we'll leave it there. Hopefully, right. Leeds United will stay up. Hopefully we will. I just don't know if we will. I don't know. I'm struggling to even process the thoughts in my mind. Tomorrow's going to be long. I'll be live from 3:00. I assume the boys will be doing stuff. Yeah, on their channels as well. So if you fancy something different, go check them out. Post match from all of us.
Actually, I won't be able to stream tomorrow, but I will be. I'm going on. Well, I'm on DR Sports, so.
Oh, nice. Good man. Get you sent over there.
So, going to be doing that. Yeah. So, that's what I'm in London for. But we will be streaming tomorrow, just not the game. And hopefully, like I said, I want to see, if we win, I want to see you, Lewis, I want to see everyone, Millennium Square, big bash up.
Straight there. Let's do that. Let's do that, mate. Let's do that straight there. Cool. Right. I think we will leave it there. Make sure you subscribe to JT's channel. Make sure you, of course, subscribe to Max at Leeds lately.
To Max, he's been popping off lately.
Yeah, there you go. And
I know I've tried that one before, but
we will see you all soon. Okay, peace out, and good luck everyone for tomorrow.
And everyone, thanks for having me on, boys. It's been a pleasure.
It's a pleasure, man. As always, pleasure. Peace out.